Hello, everyone. This is Walter Proper, the Executive Director of IPHL, and we're continuing with our spotlight on our country chapter leaders. And today we're going to South Africa, and we have Jenny here. And so I'll start with Jenny. Why don't you give us your full name and tell us where you currently live?
And Walter, thanks for the opportunity. I'm Jenny Froome, and I live currently in a place called Midrand, which is halfway between Johannesburg and Pretoria in South Africa. And it is it's brewing up for a major storm. It's our storm time of year. So if you hear lots of noise in the background, that's what it is.
And where do you originally come from in South Africa?
I'm originally from England. So I'm originally in England, but I've lived all over the world thanks to my father. My father was an international banker, so I lived the life of an expatriate in about 7 different countries around the world. And I ended up in South Africa via Kenya. And when I was very young, I was brought up in Ghana. So Africa is very much dear to my heart.
Some really strong African roots there.
Yep.
And what is your current job position?
So I have 2 hats. I own my own business called IAPHL Management, which is an event management company. And I am also the CEO of SAPIX, which is a not-for-profit professional body for supply chain management professionals here in South Africa.
Right. And what has been your experience with health supply chain?
It's been very new and it's been very exciting. And I have to say a very big thank you to people that deliver, who got me involved on a personal level through SAPIX by taking me to Khartoum to meet Dr. Jamal with the amazing work that they've done there with their medical supply unit. And I didn't realize, but I had been introduced to IAPHL a number of years ago, I think when it was very first started, because we were SAPIX was approached to help with some warehouse management training. And then there was talk about collaboration. And at that point, the current board and I looked and said, well, the majority of our people are private sector. What do we know about public health supply chain management? And little did we know 11 years later or 12 years later that we'd be here and collaborating and understanding that doesn't matter if it's health or public or private, it's actually supply chain best practice that matters at the end of the day. So it took a long time for the penny to drop, but it has dropped, and so here we are.
Great. And what would you say you like most about working with supply chain?
Oh, it makes the world go round. It's as simple as that. It's one of those professions that when it's done well, everybody doesn't think about it. But when it's done badly or at times like this of uncertainty, people question and they start to understand supply chain management. And I think that's been one of the biggest COVID silver linings, if you like. And I know it's a dire time for everybody, but at least people are starting to question how do the stores keeping their shelves full? And I've seen lots of things on social media saying it's the magic fairies. Of course, well, it's not. It's brilliant supply chain management, and that's I think that's what is it's so thrilling and absolutely vital. And what has inspired me about the more I discover about the public health side of it is that it's imperative, because it's all about people and it's all about saving lives and improving the quality of life.
And so you talked a little bit about how you heard about IPHL. So how long have you actually been a member of IPHL?
3.5 years I've been a member of IAPHL.
Great. And how long, well, you can explain how long have you been with the local chapter?
So the local chapter, I started talking to Liz Igaro about 2 years ago about the possibility of working with IAPHL to re-energize the local chapter and help to give it a bricks and mortar approach in South Africa to do some events, because I thought that there was enormous possibility and potential. And we carried on talking, but we didn't really get very far because of various work commitments, etc., etc. And then earlier this year, Walter and you and I started the discussions again, and then COVID happened. And now we realize that we don't actually have to be bricks and mortar, although it would be nice. We just need to have energy. And I think that, SAPICS already has a community on which we can build. IAPHL already has a community. We just need to get to the point of actually doing some events and actually bringing the community together. And I'm hopeful that the conference that we're running on the 23rd and 24th of November is going to be a really good platform on which we can build this South African chapter.
Excellent. So do you have any new members to the chapter, or is it too soon yet? Too soon. I'm still working out how to update the website. So we're getting there step by step, but we have got a wonderful volunteer already who's agreed to, she's from the private sector, and she's agreed to come and help to put some energy in and really get things kick-started. Obviously, those of you who know the way the South African school year runs, our end of year really is our end of year. So we do tend to shut down a little bit. Who knows whether this year is going to be the same? You can't judge anything. So really 16th of December, our world here tends to come to a close until about the second week of January. So I think that we will use the next 2 weeks to really get the messaging out there and then kickstart everything brand new in 2021. Excellent. We're looking forward to the growth of the chapter.
Yeah, so are we.
Yeah. So what would you say would be an interesting topic, or that the chapter will look at, or you would like to have the international group look at?
I know something that's very, very close to us at the moment that we're working very hard on is professionalization. And it's making sure, how do we elevate supply chain management as a profession and have it recognized as such in private sector terms at the C-suite, not just to be reporting to the financial director, but actually the supply chain director to be as important. And I know that there's a lot of organizations that have been working on creating designations, career paths, all that sort of thing, so that we can actually have public health supply chain professionals recognized as supply chain professionals because of their core competence. And really making sure that people who've got lots of experience and not necessarily academic experience can still get recognized as supply chain professionals because they've proven that they know what they're doing.
And that's excellent. And again, I think there's great opportunities in South Africa and with SAPIC support to bring that private sector look into, as we constantly try to bring the two together, those working in the public sector with the private sector and health and supply. I guess finally, what would you want people, anything else to know about the coming chapter, the development of the chapter and where you're going?
Really just that it is for everybody. So what I don't want to happen is I don't want SAPICS members to think, oh no, that's not for me, like we were 11 years ago. I want everybody to understand that we can all learn from each other. And we've got a very staunch member who's been to every single one of our SAPICS annual conferences for 33 years. He hasn't missed a single one. And he says, if I can still learn at my age, then everybody should be learning. And the best way to learn is from each other.
That's great. That's great. And again, I want to thank SAPICS for the upcoming conference, to giving 20 scholarship openings for our members who have been applying, and probably reach out to our leadership as well. So that's great. And we look forward to the upcoming SAPICS conference.
Brilliant. So, that's going to be great.
Yeah, thank you, Jenny. And thank you, everyone. And we will be continuing the series.